So we stand in front of Dollar Tree and basically
such as this thing here.
All right, I'm excited to have a guest.
Metal right here, of course, everyone is. Cuba is like they're under a dictator.
Hope everyone's doing well. Lots of things to talk about. Of course, I want to share with you some storylines that caught my attention, and I'm sure there's 5, 6, 7 others that caught your attention. So definitely feel free to chime in. Let me know what's on your radar. Also, want to go through the headlines real quick. Probably open up the phone lines as well as just get more involved with the community. And so I like the discussion we had. I think it was on Monday, if I'm not mistaken, or to end of last week, where Baby Moneybags referenced the whole RTD gang and how we're all in a gang. And so a lot of people just share the words RTD gang. So ultimately speaking, let's connect tonight. I want to connect with the gang and see what's going on. And it's one thing to just talk and look at a screen and see it myself, and another thing to be able to hear other people speak directly, but also want to see some faces. So if you're interested in joining me face to face, no solely, no audio, nothing like that, just face to face, one-on-one. Definitely would love to connect as well, because that's another way of getting the community involved. So I was actually trying to put up the link on my side here. So in a moment in the description, you'll see the link where you can click and join me face to face. And I figure we'll try that out and see how it goes. And give me a second. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button. And, moving forward from this moment on, it's going to be more so free flow, freestyle. I'm trying to back away from just being so strictly structured and doing it a certain way, just because at this current moment, I'd rather just blow with the wind, but yet deliver value and also get a chance to connect with like-minded people than just stick to the old script. I've been doing this structured format for, I think, maybe 4 to 5 years now. And so I want to switch up a little bit and just be off the cuff some. So bear with me momentarily as I try to put this up here, put it in the chat. So in a moment, you guys will be able to see let me see, join me during a live talk face to face, and let's hang out. Yeah. So just trying something different. So I'll put this up in a moment, and we can go from there. Trying to give it some little stipulations here, because it's been a while since we've done a actual check-in. And I'll go from there. All right, so I'll put that out there. So we'll just see where it goes. So if anybody's interested, as I move forward, wait till I give the invitation before you guys try to join in. Definitely would love to connect with some people. So lots of things going on. But before I dive in, let me just welcome everybody here. Any first-time viewers or whatnot, thank you for joining us. Definitely love to hear from you directly. For just typical things I want to do. I feel like I'm just scrambling on all of a sudden. If you haven't, hit that bell notification as well as the subscribe button. Hopefully you are notified. No guarantees. Things are getting kind of crazy on the censorship side. And also all the alternative media platforms to stay connected with RTD. Encourage you to do that. And more importantly, I want to bring to your attention today, I actually got some good news in reference to some silver supply being stocked back up so that we can get that offer going. So real quick on the screen here, if you are interested in just getting 5 ounces for free in your hands, just for sharing your interest in silver, and more in particular, I like to call it the people's money, because that's what it always has been. There is a opportunity to join a giveaway. And so I partner with Bullion Max to put 5 ounces in somebody's hands. And so this will run for 7 days. So if you're interested in joining, the link is in the description right now. Go over there and register. And of course, it's all about sharing this type of information with other people. So the person that shares the most has the best chance at winning. So information in the description if you're interested in joining the giveaway. So wanted to put that out there real quick, and go ahead and do that if you want it. If not, never mind. Okay, so let me acknowledge a couple people. Then I got a couple headlines here. Then we'll just see where it takes us tonight. But we got King D checking in. Appreciate you. Joey Sox. We got Broadlight Broker. Dave checking in as well. Appreciate you. I see a lot of these are no sounds, but I'll edit that out. MW3516405. We got Broadlight Broker. Mark checking in. Jim checking in. Will Smith. Pay me money bags. All right, fair amount of people here. Lots of subjects. Feel free to throw out circumstances or issues you want to touch on. And definitely, so persistence over resistance, silver supply getting real low. And that's one thing that, as I mentioned, I think it was the other day, as far as just listening to all the different commentators and all the bullion dealers. And on top of that, with Bullion Max, emailing me Monday saying, "Hey, Mike, we're running kind of low. We got to stock up." I'm like, "Oh, dang." So it's just not precious metals dealers out here trying to stir the pot and cause hysteria in the metals market. It's actually some situations that unfolding, primarily because of the current situation we're going to talk about tonight. IMF and all the banks are they're panicking in reference to trying to hold this thing together, even though they know the ship is crumbling. But we got the IMF basically saying that if there is no type of orderly structure to this globally coordinated interest rate hiking, then something's going to break. On top of the fact that dollar is strangleholding every single country around the world, it's going to lead to mass unrest beyond what we've seen already. And so far we've talked about all the different countries that are just right now, every place where prices are skyrocketing, or there's fuel shortages. France right now, I'm sure you guys have seen the fuel lines in France where people, you really can't, go fill up freely the way you're used to. So things are really hitting the fan, and they know that. So they're just trying to cover their own end, cover their own backsides to make it look like they were trying all along to try to bring some sense of normalcy to things. But we know what's going on. And of course, Bank of England, their credibility is long gone. They are actually going to go through and just basically pull the floor or pull the support from their debt market and just let the free market take over. And there goes the pensions. So by this Friday, between now and this Friday, we're going to see more extreme turbulence in the debt market. And at this current moment, just the narratives that we've been fed that, the bonds are risk-free assets, they're a sure thing, they're a guaranteed bet. I'm not really sold on that, just because they're derivatives of the currency. And so when central banks basically create more currency out of nowhere to then buy up instruments that have no true long-term value, as we're witnessing, what really do you have there? A non-performing liability. So but who am I, man? Who am I? Anyway, okay. Hope everyone's doing well. Feel free to thoughts, ideas, suggestions. We can make it work. Let me see. Here's a thought here. It says, kind of small. It says, when the banks fail here, FDIC insurance can only cover 1.25% of the United States accounts. So that percentage there, 1.25, is pretty generous, Judith and Dan. I remember seeing a Mike Maloney video. I'm not sure if it's in one of his little series, but he was talking about, he did a much deeper dive into calculations, and based upon all the money market accounts, you got bank savings, you got credit cards, you got commercial deposits, and all those other things, or CDs rather. I want to say that figure of what's actually available in cash currently is well under it was like 0.0001% of what they can actually make good on if things hit the fan right now. So therefore, we know the central bank will have to come in and try to make people whole, or rather the Treasury. But we know that they don't want to make people whole. They're trying to remove everything from us so that they can come out with what? The central bank digital currency. Okay. Enough of me ranting. I got 5 or 6 headlines. 5 or 6 headlines to go through real quick. Then we'll do a little face-to-face, open the phone lines, have fun, see where it takes us. So bear with me. And let me just jump right in here. I got too many windows up here. Too many windows. Okay, let me close my windows. So things that caught my attention. So I just want to start off by talking about the IMF, just because, even though they're, the BIS and IMF they're at the peak of the front men for the banking cartel. So those two entities pretty much set the tone for all the other central banks. And of course, the Federal Reserve is the number one bank. And so when all the bankers get together, they're trying to basically concoct a plan on a narrative that they're going to sell the public, while in reality do something completely opposite. But in between is where we can kind of find some things that make more sense. And just to give you some headlines real quick here, and I'll spare you guys this. I gotta make myself, make this screen bigger so I can see it. All right, real quick, I highlighted a couple of things here, just stood out to me as I was thumbing through it. But, IMF fiscal chief underscores a need for orderly debt restructuring. So I typed in the words debt restructuring into a search, the DuckDuckGo search, and literally it is nation after nation looking to try to restructure. And it's, of course, it's all the indebted nations, which happen to be predominantly the emerging markets. And so every country in Africa, for the most part, is looking for some type of bailout or relief structuring, as well as Latin America, you name it. Every nation that is heavily indebted to China or the US or Europe, they're trying to get some type of restructuring, just because they can no longer even attempt to make it appear as if they can sustain. And those are all the countries where the protests and mass unrest is taking place. And so, just real quick, I highlighted some things here. I'll spare you guys all this, but it says low income countries were particularly vulnerable, with nearly 60% of the poorest countries now in debt distress or at risk of it. So more than 60% of the poorest countries. And that's probably a low ball figure. And so it says Paulo Mauro, deputy director of the fiscal affairs department, said that there was an empirical association between social unrest and episodes of spikes in food and energy prices. So they go hand in hand. Whenever the price of goods and services get out of hand, people hit the streets. And that's in these countries they're referring to here. He's quoted saying, the way to reduce the risk of widespread social unrest is to give people a feeling that the money they pay in taxes is well spent. And we put a lot of emphasis on good governance practices. So think about this. The money they pay in taxes is well spent. Taxes in of itself. Yeah. Yeah, but give people confidence. It's too late. Fiscal transparency and progressive taxes that hit the rich harder were options. So basically saying tax the rich more. And we know that taxes is one of the main strangleholds that a lot of nations are experiencing right now. Here's another article. It says fiscal stability risk rising to crisis level, IMF says. It says the risk of a breakdown of the world financial system has risen to levels only seen during the past crises as the global economy confronts the aftershocks. And of course, they throw in the pandemic and they throw in Russia. They got to put Russia in there. It says the global environment is fragile. It says financial stability risks have increased and the balance of risk is tilted to the downside. Financial markets are extremely volatile and less liquid as investors face an environment of elevated inflation and aggressive central bank tightening not seen in decades. Fear of a global recession, I'll put in the word depression there, are rising, and the dangers of debt defaults are increasing as interest rates march higher. It says the fund said that the poorer nations face severe stress and that many frontier markets could face defaults and difficult debt structures, restructuring. So it's just interesting to me as I was reading through that as to how the IMF is literally trying to now narrate the situation that they are the primary instigators of. Like they are the ones who have extended all these debt to nations, and all of a sudden now they're calling for a global restructuring, and then they're blaming central banks all hiking as the reason why nations can't service their debt. They extended debt well before the interest rates were even a concern, but now the reality is setting in, and just the cost of servicing that debt is beyond unbearable. It was unbearable before the interest rate hikes. So why now? Why are they calling for this debt restructuring now? Just because it jeopardizes their ability to keep the stranglehold and the boots on these nations and all these people, because the debt was always unserviceable. And so now they're realizing that if they don't somehow try to reset all this, there's going to be more people in the streets. And they're coming directly for those banksters. Because at this current moment, everybody can kind of pinpoint who are the primary instigators and the people which cause this problem. Anyway, it's just never ending, man. But they are screaming about a fiscal cliff. So let's move on to some more stories. Here's something that is a couple of hours old, but very timely. At the same time, the debt is basically bringing down nations. Interest rates are the primary focal point. But the banking sector will be the intermediary between a crumbling economy and the people's livelihood. Dead smack in the middle is the banking sector. And we know at any minute now, there will be some major banking events. And then here's something that is fresh from Australia. It says Australia-wide payments issue causing processing delays and a bank app outages. So this was as of 4 hours ago in Australia. And what really stood out is, as I was reading through this, it's basically just the payment infrastructure network, third-party network that's having issues connecting with all the different banks throughout Australia. but basically it's delaying payments from being sent, as well as paychecks and things like that arriving in bank accounts. So people woke up, this morning and were not able to do their normal banking activity. And so this information was put out there as like we're working on it right now. We'll get back with you shortly. But here's a bank that caught my attention, because this bank here, the Commonwealth Bank of Australia, has been in the news before now, because they're closing a good portion of all their banks for some reason. And so it gives more information here, but just right now, this current moment, I'm not sure if things are back online, but there's a banking issue right now dealing with the payment structure in Australia, which of course, nothing at this moment is a surprise to me, just because this is all a part of their agenda of structuring and restructuring rather the entire financial system and ushering in a CBDC. And so here is an article from a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago rather, but it says hundreds of banks branches closed right after Australia, including Westpac and Commonwealth Bank, impacting thousands of customers. So this right here was updated in the beginning of September, but it kind of flew under the radar because I didn't hear much about it. But just to briefly give you an idea what's going on, it says Westpac closing hundreds of banks across Australia as it turns digital. Big Four banks has seen 225 stores shut down since January last year. It says there has been 48 branches closed in the past 2 months alone. Commonwealth Bank are closing 3 stores in North Southwest as well as South Australia. And so we have 4,000 jobs disappearing between now and, it says, as of May. And it says this moves 4,000 jobs could disappear by May 2023. And all these branches here, mass unemployment in Australia. And what's interesting about this is they're timing this precisely into next summer. And guess what'll be ready by next summer, according to their own white paper here. Australia's central bank digital currency pilot to be completed in 2023. So right when they're having all these banking issues, the banks are closing due to things moving towards the digital realm solely, because most people don't come into banks and more, all that stuff like that they try to tell us. This lines in perfectly. So there'll be some more banking events between now and the time they're ready to officially roll out their pilot. And so just nothing we're experiencing is accidental at all. It's all timed. And the question is, will it work according to their plan, or will we disrupt it? But as of right now, with the Fed now set to be introduced in June of 2023, it looks like the overall consensus time frame is summer 2023. So my assumption is they're trying to keep this thing somewhat glued together, cause as much distress, as much pain as possible in people's lives, so that come next summer, around 2023, June, July, they'll be ready to roll out officially their CBDCs. And these are, of course, these are all the G7 nations, or not the G7 nations, but all G20 nations for the most part, that have plans of making this go live. So just something worthwhile there. All right, here's on a lighter note here. Feel free to throw out some thoughts, ideas in the chat, and we'll jump on those in a minute. Here is something that I talked about the other day, right after the whole Crimean bridge struck. And I showed you a picture that we were told from, I think it was Reuters, of a lady in blood sitting there, whatever, looking all sad, whatever. And so, of course, crisis actors, I mentioned that at this current moment, everything is being presented to us is all a part of a script that they have given us. And so, I got to figure out how to fix that. That's going to be a problem. So here, real quick, let me show you this. So here is the picture on the Daily News. It says Vlad's bloody payback. And so here's that same picture of an older lady allegedly in Ukraine, covered in blood, looking sad and all distressed and everything like that. And so this was a primary picture that was put around the world after the Crimean attack. And then here is the actual video footage. Here's the video footage of the same lady with her cell phone. And she's up here taking selfies, or they're making sure they're getting her makeup just right for all these photos. So, ain't no telling exactly where they're at. They could low-key be in a completely different country, but that same lady along with that guy there, nothing wrong with them. That's all makeup. But I thought I would just share that because, it's comical. Just because first suspicion, everything I see, I just question it. I don't believe nothing I see anymore at all. That's just me. but that's on a little lighter note. What else I got going on here? I got a couple more stories. Of course, Federal Reserve is just, they're hard pressed on keeping their foot in the gas. We know about that. Fed officials expect higher rates to stay in place, median minutes show. And of course, the markets responded. So anything else is just comedy at this current moment. Anyway, let's talk. Let's open the phone lines, or better yet, what I would love to do in the description of this video right here. If you go, click on that face-to-face link. You can join me on screen. We'll hang out for a bit. Definitely would love to incorporate the RTD gang on screen so we can talk and just have some fun. Let's keep it, keep the conversation below filter just because the algorithms are listening. But definitely love to connect with people or just throw out some ideas and we can go from there. So I open the phone lines. This is going to kick my butt here. All right, let's talk. Let me fix this. Hello, caller. Which name are we calling from?
Yeah, Mike, Steve, in Region 9.
Steve, what's going on, my friend?
Yeah, I just sent you a video there. Matter of fact, it's one that I sent you, I think, a couple of days ago, regarding Aaron Brickman and the things that he was talking about regarding the economy and a possible crash coming up here pretty quick.
Yeah.
Okay, I literally went back. Originally, he was on the Hagman show on August 25th.
Yeah.
So that's when I was first aware of this guy or whatever. But then he was back on. He was back on September 28th, and the video that you have right there that I just sent again is from the 28th. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I went back and checked. I literally went back and checked the stock market stuff that he said was going to happen, and his hypothesis so far is dead on. Is dead on what? Is dead on 100% right now. So if the community can help keep up with this, because I may miss a day or checking it or something, but what the Dow Jones is, etc.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just going to be blood and water. So I'm going to get off here. But if you can go to 24 minutes 45 seconds in that video.
24, 45, okay.
24 minutes 45 seconds.
Yeah. Okay.
And let it run for 3 minutes. It's 3 minutes.
Okay.
From there, but everybody should watch that entire video.
Okay, so I did put it in the Telegram so people can go check it out there, and of course just go, I guess the Hagman report, you can watch it as well. So, but so give me just real quick, based upon what you've heard from him, give me the bottom. What's his number? What time frame or what number he threw out there for the bottom? I guess of the Dow Jones or whatever he's referring to.
That's why I just narrowed it down to those 3 minutes there, and I'll get off the phone and if you can just play that 3 minutes.
Okay.
24 minutes 45 seconds up to 28 minutes 10 seconds.
I'll listen to it then. I won't be able to play it now, but I'll listen to it though. But thanks, my man.
All right.
Be good. Yeah. Yeah, good stuff, man. Definitely want to check that out. I will listen to it. It'll be a little bit too long to play right now, but we'll make it work at some point. But yeah, we know what time it is. The concerns are only growing worse. Hello, caller. Where are we calling from?
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Hello?
Yeah, Mike.
Yes, this is him. How you doing, my friend? What's your name?
Flavio from Salt Lake.
From Salt Lake. What's going on with you?
I got a theory. I got a little theory. What if United States threatened Mexico to come out on silver to fill the market gaps? I mean, that could be a possibility because they're getting silver from Mexico by all means necessary to keep everything propped up. Just an idea.
No, that's a possibility, and so it's more so, so if that was a scenario to play out, how would the U.S. go about forcing Mexico, and would Mexico be willing to do it, knowing that Britain, Russia, and China, they're also concocting a plan as well, and Mexico is the number one, for mining jurisdiction for silver. So, I mean, that's mean Mexico had to be in the bed with the U.S., or the U.S. had to do something really dirty to get them to go along with that, which is not impossible, but I think Mexico probably want to sit on that rather than flood the market and mess up their own mining sector.
One last theory before I get off the phone.
Yeah.
What if they made a deal for Mexico to come out the silver, and in return they allow these caravans to come into the United States?
They're already doing that though, so they already let the caravans in. So,
right.
Yeah.
So that's probably the trade-off.
Okay, hey,
I don't know. It's just
no,
an
that's
idea. Hey, love your show, and thanks for everything you do.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, and that's a possibility. We never know, so that could be a part of the agreement. You flood the economy with silver, and we'll let everybody in. But appreciate you, man.
All right, have a good one.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, once again, this current moment, anything's possible. I just find it hard to believe that Mexico would want to flood the market with silver when, even though I know their president is bought and paid for with the World Economic Forum and wants to go digital as well. But it'd be hard to believe that they'd be willing to go that low. But, we have to see. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Mike? This is Jimmy from Baltimore.
Jimmy, what's going on, boss?
Hey, really quick, right? Everybody screaming, crash, 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 crash. Guess what's going to happen? The Fed going to pivot like they always do. Everybody preparing for a crash, but ain't nobody preparing for a pivot. Like, the dollar going to collapse one day. I'm cool with that. Right now, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing.
What's that?
I'm actually putting money in the market. I'm looking forward to gaining something from it. Like, everybody is screaming crash. The crash happening right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah. One day something is probably gonna break, but like, man, ain't nothing going on, man. Like I just feel like everybody preparing for a crash, right? But the market is designed to take most of the money from most of the people most of the time.
Right.
I'm on the other side.
Right. But think about this also at this current moment, when it comes to equities, especially, not many people actually have a nice size portfolio that they were even counting on in the first place. So other than those financial products they put together, ETFs and mutual funds, whoever holding those things, that's the bulk of the entire sector, in my opinion. Not many people actually are sitting on certain types of portfolios. If they are, they're trading them. So there's not many people out there holding that stuff. So once again, I just think these are extreme trimmers. Like, the markets are going through trimmers right now. I wouldn't consider it a crash because, overall things are not really that bad, technically speaking. You know what I'm saying? So we haven't seen what I think is the worst of what's yet to come. And I think it's all going to be predicated on what happens to the UK after this week and beyond when it comes to the debt market, because everything is centered around debt. And that's supposed to be the best form of collateral you can have. But once again, the currencies themselves are being destroyed in order to support that debt market. So it's like, what are you really holding on to? So they can string this thing out as always, man. But in the meantime, the cost of goods and availability of things we need might become a little bit unaffordable or, not readily available.
Yeah, I think, and I agree. I think that the cost of goods are gonna continue to go up. But like what I'll say is, to me, like most of us, we get our news from them.
Right.
Like we like these are the same people that's destroying the market. Like when have they ever really told us the truth? So to me, they're doing what they always do. They're promoting fear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for once in my life, I feel so good because either it's all about to go down and you know what I mean? Like the way I'm talking ain't right, but I feel like if you balance, you're diversified for whatever could come. Most importantly, having your faith in the Most High. But like I said, I just think that we gonna be talking about this in 2026. We're gonna be talking about this in 2028. Yeah. Like on nothing, and man, that ain't gonna happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that whatever. And I'm not saying that it can't, but I just feel like I'm getting to a place in my mind where like we run this.
Yeah.
Like, I get that, they provide this and provide that, but did we forget who our God is? Like, did we forget the parting of the Red Sea? It seemed to me, and I'm sorry for going on, but it seemed like, are we starting to idolize them? Like, are they our God? Because that's all we talk about.
Right,
we don't never really talk about what, you know what I mean?
Right.
But man,
yeah, and that's the tricky part on my side, as like trying to host a talk show that's predicated on financial matters. Want to keep people informed, because everyone here, we know what's really going on as far as the overall conditions of the economy, but then your average Joe's still asleep. So it's like, if I switch the channel and talked about something completely off topic, then it's a little bit challenging, because I still feel like I'm supposed to at least, let people know, to get your weight up. Like when it all boils back down to it, everything I did here starts on get your weight up. So I can never not get tired of that, just because that is money to me. So most people don't know what money is. So it's like, hey, but I get you though, man. So I'm trying to figure a way to spice things up on my end, just because it does get kind of tiresome talking about the same thing over and over again. But yeah, I never know. It's that one person out there. Go ahead.
You're doing the last thing. You're doing a great job, but
Appreciate
I see
you,
you when the Dow hit 65. All right.
Yeah. Hey, it's it's possible, man. Appreciate you.
All right,
Yeah. Good stuff. Cancel. What am I doing? Says, I'm calling on the Holy Spirit to give us all strength during these difficult times. 100%. I'm in agreement with that. Before I came on live stream, I had to get my word in me, my Wednesday night Bible study. And so couldn't make it to church, but I catch it online tonight. I came into tonight charged up, just because, despite all this stuff, I still have expectations and things that I'm trusting God for. So I know it's one thing to focus on what my eyes see, but then again, I always have to remind myself every day of what the Lord told me, what his word promises me, and what I'm standing on. So outside of what we're seeing here, when I'm not on air, I'm battling in my faith, man. I'm believing God for, all types of things. Donald, Kanye West. That is a great subject to transition to. Appreciate you, man. So yeah, speaking of Kanye, he's having some banking issues. And so here's something from he's gone, extremely off script, put it like that, in a good way. Like I'm not one of those people that say Kanye West he needs mental help. No, he's just speaking his truth. Let him do him. He's worked hard and deserves it. It's unfortunate it goes against what the man wants him to say, but he's gonna keep he's gonna keep sharing his voice and letting his opinions fly freely until his voice is silenced. We know how that might end. God forbid. But here is a little tweet from Candace Owens. It says, earlier today, I learned that Kanye West was officially kicked out of JP Morgan Chase Bank. I was told there was no official reason given. We all know why. And this is the reason why. Let me just share this with you. Kanye West's Twitter and Instagram accounts are locked over posts deemed anti-Semitic. And so this was happening. This was a Sunday night tweet. I was actually watching his tweet thread because Elon Musk earlier that day tweeted him and said, hey, Kanye, you back online, whatever. And then, of course, he started ripping it. Then his last tweet, it says, Ye said, he said, good night. And then he's like, tomorrow I'm going to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. And of course, his accounts were both canceled again. And so we know what they don't want us talking about. That's just how life is, man. Satan has a plan as well. So, and that's why I have to be careful on my end, just because, I know what the enemy is trying to accomplish, but I also have an assignment as well. So I'm not going to sit up here and continue to just solely focus on the enemy's plan. I have to make sure that words of faith come out of my mouth, and that I'm encouraging people to get their faith up as well, and hopefully make sure their spiritual house is in order. So my part of my mission, what I like to think my mission is, to help bring people to Christ. So I'm going to continue to do that. Anyway, keep it moving. But back to real quick here, back to the tweet. So this was what looks like a email sent to Kanye. It says, Dear Ye, and whoever else is on his account, we are sending this letter to confirm our recent discussion with such and such that JP Morgan Chase has decided to end its banking relationship with Yeezy LLC and its affiliated entity. So, this is a $1 billion company getting booted. Why? Because he's speaking his truth. And when you speak too much truth, it's only natural you get canceled. You get canceled. Said they keep paying Kanye. Yeah, he's gonna keep getting paid, but you better believe somehow, some way, if this continues with him out here stirring the pot. Even so, I was listening to another podcaster earlier, and he was talking about, I guess, an appearance. What's his name? Sean Combs. Diddy was on a, him and Kanye West and Diddy exchanged words, and I guess Kanye West he publicly displayed their tweet, and it just didn't look too good. So Kanye is pissing off a lot of people, even in his own community. And so, yeah, it's not going to end well. But then again, it is what it is. All right. Thoughts, ideas, suggestions. Also, if anybody's interested, the link to join me face-to-face is in the description. I want to try to open that up, and I would definitely love to get some more people to tune in and share your expertise and as well as your opinions. Just because I want to switch things up a little bit and add more people to the live streams and be able to talk and not just look at myself in the camera all the time and actually look at some other people. So if we got any bold, courageous souls that feel led to get into the communications business, feel free to let me know. What else we got here? I see a lot of thoughts back and forth. I don't want to call in if you want to answer this question. If it says Midnight Green says, I don't want to call in. Can anyone answer this inquiry? If you own your own home, would it be advisable to pay your utilities, property taxes in advance for 2023? Would it be advisable to pay? So once again, assuming you're asking that question because you perhaps have a different approach you want to take by withholding, anticipating some type of event unfolding between now and next year. That was my assumption. But my thought is initially, if you are able to, without any concerns whatsoever, and it's just extra on the side, take care of it. This is my opinion. Take care of any debts that you can. Just get out the way because, ain't no point in playing with fire. You tend to get burned at some point. So if it's a debt that you can pay and get rid of or pay up on or in advance, sure, why not? Especially if you plan on staying in that same residence for quite some time, then, minimize the headache now. Or if sounds like you're already considering not paying up because you obviously can, it sounds like, you can never go wrong by, holding a little bit of that in the meantime, because between now and next summer, the spot price of silver, it very well could say something like $15 or something like that. But based upon the premium action right now, you're going to pay that in premium alone. So probably before the end of this year, my guess would be, based upon a current tightness in the physical market, whatever the spot price is, just double that. And that's going to be probably the bare minimum of what you can probably expect to get at some point next year officially. So it's going to easily be, if it's 19 now, it's going to easily be 38, for something in hand, especially if it's something you want. And so that's just looking ahead. I could be wrong, but, so if you bought something now at 25, 26, you might be able next summer, depending on the environment, to let it go at 38, recoup that money, got a little bit. It's on top of that. You might make a little something if you want fiat. But then once again, yeah, that's just my 2 cents there. The COMEX and LBMA are being drained 100% for a reason. You got all these hedge funds, money managers, investment banks, and all. I mean, the UK, man, is about to expose how fraudulent this entire debt system really is. And just the fact that the Bank of England flip-flopped within the last 72 hours. They went from wanting to establish a floor by supporting and buying everything above a certain threshold to now saying that you're on your own. You figure it out by Friday because we're not coming in no more type of thing. Like who called the Bank of England chairman and said, hey, you got to go ahead and we got to pull this plug. It's getting a little too late now. We got to get this thing moving. Go ahead and pull that plug. You ain't buying nothing else. Let them figure it out. And so somebody made a call from up top, which is the reason why they decided to reverse stance that quick. And it's going to expose how nothing there at all. Ain't nothing there. It's nothing there. It's gone. Hello, caller. Where we calling from?
Mike, Tony from Oakland. How you doing, bro?
TB, doing good, my friend. What's on your mind?
One more again. How you feeling, man?
I'm good, my friend. Doing well. How about yourself?
Okay, because I'm worried about you, man.
Okay, go ahead.
You're starting to take a new angle, and you aren't sounding like your old self these past couple of weeks. So I'm calling in to find out how you doing.
Oh, I'm doing good, man. I mean, like everybody else, I'm trying to figure out how to, stay invigorated amongst all this nonsense happening around the world, on top of things beyond YouTube. So, I'm growing, and I'm learning, man. But I'm having fun.
Well, that's good, man. And I told you that you got to stay off that tube, man. You got to stay away from take a little sabbatical,
Right.
and that's for everybody, man. Just to get away from it, because it'll wear you out and wear you down.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's looking for a crash. I don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Not whether the dollar is strong.
Yeah.
And I can't see anybody. And you look at the markets; they say the dollar's going to continue to be strong. There's nothing getting in the way.
Right. Now, watch this.
So
when you say crash, you're referring on American soil.
The dollar?
Oh, no. I'm just saying. You say you're not seeing a crash coming. Like, you talk about crashing in the dollar, or crashing like in Europe, or like certain countries around the world where they're already. You know what I'm saying? I mean, those conditions over there would probably be more likely to crash before here, in the U.S. But what are you referring to, like crash? Like everything is hunky dory all the way across the board.
No, everything outside the U.S. The U.S. is going to go down.
Okay.
As long as the dollar keeps going strong.
Yeah.
And those who stay in the market is going to crush you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get in the market. You do better off in bonds, even though the bonds are even bad at this point. But at some point, at least something's got to turn around. If the market's going down 50, 60, 70%, like it went up 50, 60, 70% over the last 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't talking about a year or two. We ain't talking about 2020. We're talking about ever since 2008, they have flooded the market. So they've got to pull that money right back out of the market somehow, some way.
Yeah.
And everybody's talking about, buy the dip. Now you got stuck with the dip, and the market's going down on you. If they reverse this, they can't reverse it. They played all their cards. They can reverse repo, which they'll do.
Mm-hmm.
They can do the repo, which they'll do.
Mm-hmm.
But who's going to pay that? Who's coming after that? Whose money are they using to do that?
Right.
They're going to be using the 401ks. Like they say, they got bills in the house now with 401ks and all your pension plans, which was a joke to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
A joke to begin with.
Right.
They're going to come after that as well.
Right.
So what's your other alternative? Where's the safe haven at? Only safe haven is a long bond, 10-year bond.
Yeah.
And it's not even safe.
I mean, anyway, as of right now, all that stuff is, it's you're yielding yet less than inflation. So, but it's better than not having anything at all, I guess, huh?
Well, no. Well, the inflation, you have to figure out where the inflation's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't say, my food prices is high. Okay, why is your food prices high? You got to figure out where the inflation's coming from and listen to the Fed. If once you stop believing in the Fed and get your act together on the opposite side of what they're doing, then you'll feel much better, because the Fed ain't doing nothing but leading you down the road of destitute. You're going to be broke, dope, and disgusted and busted.
Good points, man.
The Fed is irrelevant. They aren't even a government entity, and we're sitting here listening to like they're making rules and everything.
Right.
All they do is print fake reserve notes for the banks.
Right. And it so happens that people get up every day, tend to go work 40, 50, 60 hours for these things, and sitting on them, and they're just losing slowly but surely. They're just fading away to oblivion after all this printing they're doing. Huh?
They're draining them dry. If they can resolve the chip shortage, if they can resolve the shipping shortage, if they can make peace with China and Russia, then we'll be on the right track. Until then, it's going down.
Yeah, and
the war is already outside of Russia, Ukraine.
Right.
How many places have been blown up? How many the United States buildings or oil refineries been set on fire?
Yeah.
That's by happenstance, because they got when you're talking about an oil refinery, they got 3 stages of protection on that.
Yeah.
And if you get to past that 3rd stage, that's what's happened. So we need to be careful with what we see and what we think, because it ain't all there. They doing psyops on us left and right.
Hey, I'd agree 100%. And speaking of leaks, just today it says Poland reports a leak, and it's crude oil pipeline. So got all these leaks and processing facilities burning down and crops, and man, it's just it's a lot of accidents happening these days.
You can't even figure out who you can trust, because they say, oh, they blew up Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2. I read somewhere where they at least were able to use Nord Stream 1.
Yeah,
and they said they blew up the Crimea Bridge. Oh, they blew up the Crimea Bridge. Traffic's still going on the Crimea Bridge.
Right, they back in operation. And even Putin, I think I saw something today. Putin mentioned that Nord Stream is repaired and is ready. We'll have it ready real soon, or something like that.
I think Stream 1 they got is up and running, but Nord Stream 2, they was like, Putin's like, we're going to have that up and running real quick for you.
Yeah, so
all you got to do is just pay me in rubles.
Exactly. We ready to go. Hey, man, appreciate you calling, my friend.
Yeah. All right, brother. Good talking to you.
Yeah.
Keep your head up now.
Oh, will do, man.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Interesting times, man. But anyway, on a lighter note, let's switch topics altogether. Let's switch it up a little bit. Give us some good news out there. What's happening in your life that's worth celebrating. Let's celebrate something. Anything worthwhile out there? Anybody excited about anything? This is me. So I've been trying to figure out, I want to. And so as a content creator, the goal is always to improve, expand, try to reach more people, try to add value, make a mark type of thing. And so I'm trying to figure out, how can I get back to my original model of get your weight up. I feel like I've strayed so far away from just focusing on monetary literacy, which is what I had in mind when I started this channel. And for just a little backstory, I just came from Argentina and just witnessed Argentina unfold. I haven't gone there a couple of times. I'm like, man, people in the U.S. don't know what's happening down here and how it's going to happen to the U.S. at some point. So that's how I got into this. And I'm like, man, I got so far away from that. But anyway, so my whole point was I'm trying to figure out how to encourage people to get silver, to get your weight up. And so I'm, all types of ideas I'm working on, but one of them is just to do more giveaways, man. So in the description, as I mentioned, if anybody's interested in participating, because the goal is to take this subject matter we're talking about here and put it before new people, expand the community, get more like-minded people here, or get people in here so they can wake up. So I'm going to do more giveaways the best I can, and try to just put some weight in people's hands, incentivize people to share the Rethinking a Dollar channel with others. So if you are interested, link is in the description for the RTD and Bullion Max giveaway, putting 5 ounces in somebody's hands on Wednesday of next week. It's going to last for 7 days. So the goal is to reach more people, and just because I'm a silver advocate. I do enjoy holding in my hands some good silver. So trying to put that into people's hands. So it's good news for me, because it takes a lot of work on the back end to put stuff like this together and then to get it into people's hands. So that's what's exciting to me, on top of other things. But anyway, what else we got out here? I see something. Let me see. Glory be to God and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Any day, all day. Appreciate you. David Ike, some claims he's a chill. I disagree. And that's the thing. There's so many people out here, man. A lot of knowledgeable people sharing their stories, giving their own spin on it. RTD excited about the Most High. 100. Lots of things happening. Love Max Bar. Share these videos, Mike's. Sell survival food too. Oh, 100%. 100%. So I don't actually sell the food themselves. I just like to share with others things that I do myself. So if I'm getting my calories up, I'll just, encourage others to do the same. Do what you feel. But don't want to be a salesman. More so just want to share what I do. That's it. And I got some other things I'm working on as well that I'll share with you. If you're interested, do it. If not, no problem. And so that's one of the greatest things about being on the back end. I have to do research. I have to, basically survey the land and find out what works, what doesn't. And in doing so, I learn a lot. And I discover a lot of things that God knows I would have never had known had I not been behind his camera and his mic, just because I would have never cared before to talk about any of this stuff. So yeah, climate change. So it looks like this is on another subject, but climate finance is picking up now. So we got climate finance it's the next narrative being used to basically pay for the climate agenda. And so he said U.S. Germany backed fundamental reform of world banks to scale climate finance. Debt costs overshadow climate finance in small island states report. Commonwealth climate finance is the new terminology used. And of course, it's a hoax, it's a money grab, it's a cash grab, it's a way to basically create a whole new entity in all these governments so they can basically put private public partnerships together to funnel currency out of all the governments to pay for whatever they want to profit off of. ESGs, put like that. World Bank criticized over climate crisis spending. So yeah, this is the stuff that's happening. I be Googling and researching all this stuff all day long. So Steven says, Mike, you're doing a great job. Do another face-to-face hangout, spice it up. I got your back. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, that's the goal. The goal is I'm just trying to improve on my end, so we'll keep it moving. All right, people, we're about that 50-minute mark. Didn't get anybody to join me face-to-face, but I'll still stick with that and try to get people to come out of their shells and join me face-to-face. And I would love to be able to have a little back and forth. And even if you disagree with me, that's fine. It's just how do I learn? I need to get my head cracked once or twice. So definitely want to do that as well. So anyway, it was a very interesting night. Hopefully you guys got something from this back and forth, or more importantly, was encouraged from just being amongst like-minded people in the community. If you found any value or just had fun hanging out, hit that thumbs up button. And if you have any ideas or any way to help me, improve the quality of the content, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. I'm open to all thoughts, ideas, and suggestions just to figure out what is of interest to you guys. So I definitely want to make sure I'm trying to deliver the best I can. So anyway, back at it tomorrow, same time, same place. And hope you guys have a great evening. Stay prayed up, get your weight up and everything in between. And as always, I want to end with a little bit of prayer. Elevate the good Lord real quick for giving us another opportunity to connect and to be in the land of the living. I'm never taking it for granted, man, because I read a lot of stories about young athletes, you name it, dying on a court, dying on the field. It's happened. People just dropping nowadays out of nowhere. And they're not even doing autopsies no more. So, yeah, anyway. But Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather tonight. We pray that you continue to do great things amongst your children, Father. We are in need of you. We need your guidance. We need your love, your passion. We need everything that you are wanting to give to us right now, today, Father. We thank you for your word. We thank you for the blood which shed for our sins. We thank you for your spirit that dwells inside of us, that gives us, leads us, and comforts us. We ask it all in the name of Jesus Christ. Bless every single person tuned into RTD. May you bless their hands, bless their work, bless their families, and allow them to do great things for your kingdom. We ask it all in the name of Jesus. Amen. All right, people. Be blessed. Be safe. Shalom. Here's a great opportunity for you to get your weight up. Let's face it, our purchasing power and our currency has been destroyed in real time. That's why I'm excited to tell you about my partnership with Bullion Max. Bullion Max will ship gold and silver directly to your door for you to hold at your home or in your own safe. To help you get started, I worked out a special offer with them. Get Bullion Max Silver Starter Kit at employee pricing. Just go to bullionmax.com/RTD. This kit includes 5 of the most desirable silver products to invest in, including the American Silver Eagle and the Silver Australian Kangaroo. This offer is limited to 1 per household while supplies last, so get yours today and take advantage of this opportunity to get your weight up. Now, you can't just stop at getting your weight up. You also got to get your calories up, because definitely a food shortage is underway between droughts, flooding, and all the climate issues being thrown our way. America's food supply is near its breaking point. That's why survival food is more important than ever. Create your own stockpile of the best-selling 4 Patriot survival food kits. It's not ordinary food. We're talking about 25 years super survival food, hand-packed right in the family-owned facility in the USA. The kits are compact, sturdy, water-resistant. They have different delicious breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. Go to 4patriots.com/RTD to get your 3-month survival kit. You'll get their famous guarantee for an entire year after your order, plus 10 free gifts and free shipping. To take advantage of this opportunity, go to 4patriots.com/RTD to build your own stockpile today, because beyond the weight, you're going to need your calories as well. Links in the description.